Live with Tao. Limitless expansion of consciousness. Consciousness is ever expanding at different levels. Man operates at the level of the body, breathing, knowing, and mind. Consciousness operates at every level. At the level of the body, it has its own dimension of freedom. Then breathing. Breathing has its own dimension. Then knowing. Knowing is not static. Once you enter in the process of knowing, it continues unabated. So everywhere there is an expansion, and the ultimate result is limitless expansion of consciousness. In a way, it has become a fad. Because when you expand, when consciousness expands, you feel totally different, and it is said you feel high. The whole world by and by becomes included in you. The whole world feels by and by included in you. The stars, the plants, the rivers, the mountains, every breath. Through the breath, you are connected to each one of us. Because the atmosphere is inclusive of the air that is exhaled and inhaled, sum total, aggregate. You become great, infinitely great, and with greatness, with expansion, all your individual miseries fall. But we use the artificial methods, LSD, marijuana, and other drugs. This creates only a false and temporary feeling. But through the technique of all-inclusiveness, inclusiveness at the plane of body, breathing, knowing, and mind, these are the techniques when all are included in you. The feeling becomes real, and there is infinite expansion of consciousness. Really, the whole world comes within you. There are two reasons for this. One, our individual consciousness is not really individual. Deep down, it is collective, cosmic. We have different layers of consciousness. If you draw a graph between X and Y axis, the point where X and Y axis intersect with one another, its ordinates in geometry, the word is used, ordinates is 0, 0, beginning point. There is subconscious and unconscious below that. Below the x-axis means it is below the x-axis is the y-axis in negative. So conscious and subconscious is below the surface, below the ordinate of 0 and 0. Then above that, the axis where X and Y axis intersect with one another, that is the level where you are. And at that point, everybody begins, that is the point of beginning. At that point, everybody's consciousness differs based on various factors, knowing, egocentric identities, mind, breath movement, etc. Above that is collective consciousness, and above that is cosmic consciousness. Collective consciousness means you choose your friends and everything according to your own innerness. You choose everything according to your own innerness. So, if you are in the company of the people who are experts in a particular field, so it is known as collective consciousness. People are following one way of religious belief system or the other. So it is collective. It is like if you have one stick given to you, you can break it very easily. When there are two sticks together, it is little more difficult, but you can break it easily. But when there are 5 sticks put together in a bundle and given it to you, it becomes difficult to break. And when infinite layers consciousness put together, it becomes cosmic, it becomes collective consciousness. Then comes the cosmic consciousness. In collective consciousness, only the consciousness of the human beings is included into it. But we are not separate. The plants, the rivers, the mountains, the stars, all are connected with us and influence our consciousness in one way or the other. This is known as cosmic consciousness. So the reason is, one, our individual consciousness is not really individual. Deep down, the next layer is collective, and above that is cosmic. In the same way, below it is collective unconscious, collective subconscious, because in one way or the other they are connected. We look like islands, but are we really islands down? Really islands? Deep down we are connected to the earth. There is a power within that knows beyond our knowings. We are not aliens as strangers join. We are bound to each other by a causeless force. We look like islands, different from one another. But are you separate from one another? Your language may differ, your way of living may be different, your attire may differ, but there is a language of science that is one. Even if you cannot understand the language of the person, but the expressions remain universal. If you want water, you can ask in that. You can express yourself in an easy way, in a relatively easy way. So we look like islands, but all the islands deep down are connected to the earth. Because we are connected to the earth in one way, and we are covered by one sky, one atmosphere, we look like islands different. I am conscious, you are conscious, but your consciousness and my consciousness somewhere deep down is one. It is connected to the earth, the basic ground, connected to the atmosphere, connected to the sky. That is why many things happen which looks inexplicable. If you meditate alone, it will be more difficult to enter into the meditation. But if you meditate with a group of people, it is easy because the whole group works as a unit in synergistic harmony. In meditation camps, I have felt and observed that after 2 or 3 days, your individuality is no more. So that's why when sessions like these, live streaming or otherwise, because of the certain limitations, we have certain sessions which are live streaming and then individual sessions. So, but if all the people are connected together, and you know that at this moment there are people in different regions, different countries connected to this live streaming, this togetherness. In a way you are individual, in a way you are connected as an island, but we are all together. This live streaming is heard by many people who are, I can see on the screen that people from different areas, different countries, different time zones are connected in one way or the other. After 2 or 3 days, when there is a meditation camp, your individuality is no more. You become part of the greater consciousness. And very subtle waves are being felt at that time during that congregation. So that is what at times that is important. Very subtle waves start moving and group consciousness evolves. So when you dance, you are not really dancing, but a group of consciousness is dancing together. You are just part of it. The rhythm, all musical instruments form an orchestra. So it is an orchestra of consciousness where different people, different consciousnesses are in a particular kind of a rhythm and in harmony and creating a rhythm. The rhythm is not only within you, the rhythm is also without you, because there are others also dancing to the same tune. The rhythm is all around. In a group, you are not. The superficial phenomena of being island is forgotten, and deeper phenomena of being one is realized. Deeper phenomena of oneness is realized. In a group, you are nearer to the divine. Alone, you are further from the divine, and you have to make more efforts. So when you are meditating on your own, it becomes difficult. When you are meditating along with someone, or you have the opportunity of individual meditation session with the master, then it is deeper. You are nearer to the divine. You become individually, you are constrained on ego, on the superficial differences of the superficial separation. This technique of all-inclusiveness of the body, breath, mind, everything, and knowing, it helps, because really you are one with the universe. You are part of universe. You may be separate, You may be standing outside, but you are being nourished by the raindrop, the same clouds, by the light, by the rays of the sun that are falling on you and giving you the same amount of warmth. In a particular atmosphere, the temperature remains the same and everyone is affected by that temperature which is outside. So if you translate it into consciousness, everyone who is there in that communion is guided by or affected by, is under the influence of same consciousness. The technique helps because really you are one with the universe. One with the universe. It is only a question of how to dig and how to fall into that and realize it on your own. Being with a friendly group always gives you more energy. Alone, and when you are in the company of someone, your level of the energy changes and it deepens. Being with someone who is antagonistic, you always feel your energy is being drained out. That's why it is said to keep the similar company. Why? If you are with a friendly group, in a family, or you are sitting and relaxing, just being together, you feel energized, vitalized. Meeting a friend, you feel more alive than you were before. Just passing an enemy, you feel that you have lost some energy, you feel tired. What happens? When you are meeting a friendly, synergistic group or the company, you forget your individuality. You drop down to the basic level where you can meet. And when someone is antagonistic, there are barriers. You become more individual, egoistic, and cling to your own ego. Many barrier comes in, blockages comes in, and communion flowing into one another becomes difficult. Knots come in. Because of that clinging to your individuality, you feel tired. When you are in a group, partying or anything, you don't feel tired. Each one of us nourish and nurture and provide energy to the other. Impetus. All energy comes from the roots. All energy comes with the feeling of collective being. The energy that comes to the plant is through the roots, when the roots are deeper in the soil. In the beginning, doing meditation, you feel a collective being arising. Collective being arising. Collective being means the body is in a posture that is giving you a comfortable posture. The rhythmic movement of the breath comes to support it. Your openness, no conditioning, adds another dimension, and with that, when all these are processed, mind breathes in silence and serenity. In the beginning, so there is collectiveness, there is togetherness. In the beginning, doing this meditation, you will feel a collective being arising, and then ultimately you enter into the dimension of the cosmic consciousness. You immediately move to the cosmic consciousness. You start the act of love making. You start as an individual out of ego or out of your needs. And then as the process deepens and you continue, you both begin to flow into one another. Collectiveness comes in. Then at times you both can enter into the cosmic range or cosmic consciousness of love making. You know only individual love making, and when I say collective, the word is understood in a different manner, or a group. It is not. Collective means you are entering into the act with your consciousness. Your spouse is entering into the act with his consciousness. Two consciousness merge into one another. There is a deeper consciousness. The result, the outcome will be deeper. This is collective. And when this collective completes this circle, you enter into the cosmic consciousness and the state. We know the physical orgasm. We know nothing about orgasm arising because of the emotional fulfillment. This is followed by cosmic consciousness. Your entire body begins to feel orgasmic. So the similar thing happens at the level of in the state of meditation, when all differences are lost, all boundaries disappear, and existence remains as one piece, one unit. Body disappears, reaches to the deeper dimension, breathing deepens, knowing deepens, and mind. All these things are put together. Then you are a unit, one whole. Remember, take an example. Tea. Water has its own quality. Tea leaf has its own quality. Sugar, milk, and that energy which unites all these different elements together, who are willing to merge into one another. Sugar is ready to dissolve into the water. Tea leaf is ready to give it its fragrance and texture, flavor and texture, and milk to add another dimension to it. But this all happens in the presence of the energy. Then when everything gives their individuality, then something you obtain which is higher than, where the water does not remain the quality of the water. This is in the field of chemistry known as chemical change. There is a physical change, ice becoming water or water becoming ice. Water becomes ice and ice melts, it becomes water. This is physical change. The change, The transformation is temporary. Meditation is alchemical change. So when tea is made, something which is beyond all the ingredients, you cannot take out the tea leaf as it was before it was added to it. You cannot sugar in that way. Sugar has added its sweetness. Tea leaf has added its quality. Milk has added its quality. And heat, the energy, has allowed all these qualities to merge into one another to form something else. This is what meditation is all about. The breathing leaves its quality into it. The knowing leaves its quality into it. And meditativeness provides the essential energy for these qualities to merge into one another, and you obtain a something that you call serenity or bliss or harmony as the outcome of this process that you call meditation. The differences are lost, the boundaries disappear, and existence remains now as one piece, one unit, one whole. Then everything is included in it. In your meditation, in your harmony, in your bliss, in the final stage, the breathing has its rule, your knowing has its rule, your body has its rule, your mind has its rule. Body can express it in certain form of gestures. Mind is deeper, it can express in gestures as well as in words. Body can only express in one way, the gestures, through its calmness. Mind can express it through the calmness, through the gesture, through the words, and so many dimensions. The effort is to include everything. Start from your own individual existence and go on including the other dimensions. Go on including the other dimensions. When we are working on a computer, on a project, we gather the information, individual information, keep on putting together and include everything to complete the final report. Enough for now. This live streaming continues every Saturday, Sunday and Monday at Trinidad time between 6 a.m. and 7, which is Eastern or New York time between 6 and 7. The Pacific time is 2.5 hours behind. Indian Standard Time is 9.5 hours ahead, between 3:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon. British time 4 hours ahead. European time differs. German time is currently 5 hours. In summer it is 6 hours ahead. European time also. European time in certain countries it is 1 hour ahead of. 1 hour ahead of the German time. Like Lithuania, Estonia, and Russia, it is 1 hour ahead of German time, German and the French time. Australian time differs because Australia has different time zones, 12 hours and 14 hours ahead of Eastern time. Enough for now.